Conspiracy theory, aliens, fake news. Okay, now that I've hit all the buzzwords, I've gotten your attention. I'm going to discuss one of my favorite alien conspiracy theories today.
Hi, I'm Natasha,
And I'm Cassandra.
and this is Strange Sisters. And I guess we'll just throw it over to Cassandra. I don't know anything that she's going to be talking about, so anything you want to remark on before we start this one?
Well, you guys have the treat of having two Heavy Cassandra episodes in a row.
Yes, congratulations.
There is a huge irony. So I usually will edit up until when we start recording. And I was adding, saying you guys have the treat, and it automatically changed the word to threat.
Yeah,
I actually took a picture and sent it to my husband. It's like
that's
I'm
funny.
personally attacked.
Yeah, even your computer is like, I don't know about that.
So today we're going to talk about. I told medium-sized one, and yes, they're still insistent on that. Um, that I was going to do an alien-themed podcast, and their immediate reaction was aliens built the pyramids.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So, as all parents and bonus parents do, today we're going to talk about did aliens build the pyramids?
Oh, okay. So this is kind of interesting to you too, because you used to want to be an archaeologist. We used to think we were like going to be all, in the dirt, carving things out, and then we both realized we are not necessarily heat people. Yeah.
I actually have a snake named Akasha, and her entire enclosure is Egyptian themed.
That's cool.
So the great question is, did aliens build the pyramids? It is understandable to look at like the sheer size and beauty of them and think, how could humans actually build this?
hmm Especially without equipment like cranes and stuff like that.
And like it's as recently as Elon Musk tweeting about how aliens built the pyramids in 2020.
Oh my God.
Leading to a representative of Egypt to actually ask him to come and see the pyramids and see that it was indeed not built by aliens. I'm going to give you a quick history lesson. I know that we've all learned most of this in like middle school. So one of the most famous pyramids, being the Great Pyramid of Giza, stands at 481 feet tall, and it was made under the rule of Pharaoh Khufu around the time of 2560 BC. So, yeah, there's definitely not going to be a lot of information left on how they made this.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty long time ago.
So, as we all know, pyramids are made to be the final resting places of pharaohs and other royalty, depending on your status. It could also be the final resting place of the servants who served the royalty because people were put in there alive.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That is deeply horrific. I can't even imagine you just how like hot and dark it is in there too, and you just wither away.
And I mean, I know that obviously they would not touch them because they were meant to go with the pharaoh in his afterlife. There was a lot of provisions buried with them,
It's true.
like wine and torches, but when you very much believed that, okay, they're going to need this in the afterlife, and you have that wonderful job of serving them in the afterlife, it still just freaks me out.
Yeah, that's like, God, even in death, you can't get out of slavery.
And so these giant structures were built to be more or less impenetrable, with booby traps and, of course, curses. They have long
hmm
since been picked over by grave robbers and what we'll call legal grave robbers. I think you know where I'm going with that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's all for science, history, culture. But yeah, it's like, how would you like it if someone dug up your final resting place and then studied it? Yeah, that seems
it,
unethical at the very least.
it wasn't always for science, I don't think. I mean, for a while, there was a lot more mummies, but people were using them. And I don't know why we got to keep using everybody's ashes in tonics. That's
Oh,
all agree
yeah.
that we're not going to do that anymore.
Ugh. And the gold, the idea that there's like gold and riches buried with these people. Yeah.
But people used to literally use mummies' ashes in medicine.
Yeah, that's just unsustainable. Like long term, how is that going to work out?
Again, I think we all need to agree, let's just stop it. Enough.
Yeah, you don't want to drink a dead person, which is like kind of ironic because obviously we eat dead animals. Well, most people do every day, but it just hits different when it's a human.
Obviously, over time with grave robbers and just general time, I mean, this is BCE. Like,
Hmm.
we, it's everything's really going to be gone other than, the actual pyramids themselves and the things that we're able to discover, which makes these enormous creations even more mysterious.
Especially because Europeans in particular were building like, I don't know, like what, mud huts and stuff like that. So we don't really have anything to compare it to as a European.
And this, of course, then leads to the question, did aliens help build the Egyptian pyramids? So, one of the largest arguments, and understandably so, is just that how was it humanely possible for a bunch of slaves in early civilization to create such a massive product? Like, especially considering with how intricate it is, even inside, and how is that possible?
Yeah, they really are amazing.
So, a few things on that one, though, is a big one that's a relatively new piece of information. Slaves didn't build the pyramids.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's relatively new. And, like, I'm sure that
Hmm.
they weren't uninvolved in it.
Hmm.
But recently, archaeologists found the remains of a village made to house the skilled workers of the Pyramid of Giza. And it seems like they were relatively well cared for. From the remains they found, it looked like they were eating meat and like they had access to plenty of food, they had dorm like housing, and it makes a lot more sense because if you're, what's the word I'm looking for, like all just bones, like being whipped to build this pyramid, it's not going to be, I mean, people would be dropping like flies.
Right, yeah, especially in the heat there, it's very unforgiving.
So it makes more sense that they were more kept. And though it wasn't glamorous work, it seems like they didn't mind doing it. There's even graffiti in the Pharaoh's burial chamber that translates to the Friends of Khufu gang, assumingly the name of a specific crew that worked on the pyramid.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
I thought John might like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So now
Hmm.
that we've gotten out of the way that I'm not saying that it's not possible that slaves were involved, but it seems like more so it was seasonal work for like farmers and merchants and artisans.
Okay, so maybe they're building it on like the cooler seasons, because obviously it takes years and years to build these
Yeah.
things. And they only build it when a new pharaoh comes into power? Is that how it works?
Well, the Great Pyramid is, I think, like the first one that was there. And
Hmm.
it was commissioned before he passed away, obviously. So after
Right.
that, I think they start commissioning it as the new pharaoh comes into power.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
I guess it's you don't know who's going to be the next pharaoh, but like you obviously know who's going to be the next pharaoh.
Yeah, because it was bloodline. So,
So now that we've gotten that part out of the way, we kind of all know that they use ramps and pulley systems. Like, come on,
hmm.
guys. But to defend the alien conspiracy theorists, up until recently, there has been very little evidence that these ramps existed. And it would be hard to have a ramp because it would be a 20-degree incline. So it would be like very dangerous with these rocks that are basically the size of a small elephant. So, actually, another thing found recently, and guys, please forgive my pronunciations for these things. They found a ramp in Hatub, another rock quarry, and according to researchers, it is, but more significantly, it was flanked on both sides by staircases. These stairs were marked with recurring holes that could have contained wooden posts, which would have rotted away long ago. According to the mission's co-director, Yanis Borden, this kind of system has never been discovered anywhere else. What's more, it's dated to about 4,500 years ago, well before the construction on Khufu's big legacy.
So does that mean there's other pyramids that are older that we don't know about? Or that maybe didn't withstand the test of time, I guess?
It could be that there were pyramids that just didn't survive the test of time as these have.
Yeah, because that 4,500 years ago, I mean, depending on, I guess, what they used, maybe there was some kind of natural disaster that wiped them out.
So we've gotten a little history lesson over. We're all good on that. Let's get to the aliens.
Okay.
why would aliens want or care about the pyramids?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they want to give humans tools ahead of their time?
Mm-hmm.
What's their logic there? What's their thought process?
And why stop there? I mean, obviously, if they're aliens, they're advanced enough to come here on a spaceship, so all they're going to do is help them build the pyramids, and that's it. I mean, I don't
It
know.
just
That doesn't seem like enough.
so largely another argument is they're using them to watch us.
Okay.
So I'm curious, as it like a sick curiosity, like how you and I watch Sister Wives?
Yeah.
Or is it to keep an eye on the humans for something more or possibly less sinister?
Yeah, but you would think they also have satellites, so do they really need pyramids for that? I mean, couldn't they just watch us from like a satellite or something?
You know, it's trying to make sense of nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's not for me to say I do not believe in aliens.
Yes, I think, yeah, we've talked about that before. We definitely believe in aliens.
But I love a conspiracy theory. um,
Yeah, this one just seems weird because also why the Egyptian, like clearly they were very intelligent, so maybe they're like, this is our best shot at making contact. Yeah, just I don't know. It seems like the pyramid, not that they aren't like amazing, like the pyramids are amazing and obviously they're one of the seven wonders of the world, but it just seems inconsequential that they would just teach them how to build a pyramid and then be like, all right, that's it. That's all we got for you, you know?
well, and I'm going to get into a few more conspiracy theories that are, I almost want to say, increasing in silliness. I was going to say
Okay.
futility, but it's just silly.
So the aliens is the least silly of them.
Well, no, they're all are attached to aliens. It's just
Oh,
the
okay.
explanation behind them.
Oh, the reasoning. Okay.
So this is going to be another name I'm going to butcher. 1968, Eric von Dinklin published a best-selling book entitled Chariots of the Gods, Unsolved Mysteries of the Past, which is apparently a very famous book I did not know about.
Yeah, it's probably where all these ancient alien guys are getting all their base information from.
And this is where the term that I cannot stand, I don't know why it drives me nuts, ancient astronauts come from. So the theory is aliens have already been to Earth and they were mistaken for gods and allowed to influence humanity as a whole. So the question became not if they're aliens, it's when they were aliens.
Yeah, which is kind of an interesting theory, and you could see how that could be possible, you know,
Yeah.
if these beings come out of the sky and they've got all this knowledge, and you're like, yeah, that's a pretty smart guy. I should follow them. I mean, that, you know, that kind of makes sense.
And like this could lead me on the tangent about like lizard people, but we'll save that for a different podcast.
Sure, the aliens are breeding with the humans, then they become lizard people, I guess. Hybrid lizard people.
But to me, this is my favorite version of this conspiracy theory because let's like break it down. Let's say if aliens were to come down, we don't know how many different species of aliens there are.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm sure there's thousands, you know, tens of thousands. Who knows?
And like even right now, I'm sure if aliens came to Earth, there would still be that group of people being like, this is the rapture. These are God's angels. They just don't look like we expected.
Or they could even look like us. I mean, if they're also carbon-based life forms, maybe they
So,
look kind of like us.
so who's to say that there haven't been multiple different species of aliens come down and that every religion, every god depicted all over the earth, maybe they were a little right.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense to me that we'd be worshiping aliens than there's just this one guy up in the sky that controls everything. Like the aliens makes more sense to me personally.
And I could see aliens being a higher life form getting to
Hmm.
Earth and being like, so these creatures don't have any idea what's going on. So
Yeah.
let's just help them a little bit.
Yeah, or even what if they believe in a higher power? Like what if it's religion is like, you know what I mean, worshiping their gods or something like that. I mean, we just don't really, there's no way for us to know at this point.
It makes sense to me. I mean, maybe the gods were even depicted over watching the pharaoh's eternal slumber in the pyramids. when they literally were the ones that made him dig his own grave.
Yeah, or there's some kind of meaning to them that made them want to have us have pyramids here, I guess.
I really like this mental image where they just are like extraterrestrial summer homes.
Yeah.
The pyramids are just there for them to like hang out on Earth when they want to come visit.
Yeah, maybe there's a planet out there that's what they live in is pyramids, and I'm sure we won't find out in our lifetime, but hey, you never know.
Going along with that train of thought is one that like it just annoys me. Honestly, it just I was doing my research, I looked at it, and Lance was hanging out with me, and I'm doing the research, and I look at what I read, and I just stood up and I walked away from my computer, and I was like, I, I can't, I can't do this. This is just, this is just annoying me at this point.
Yeah, some of them are really out there and just really make no sense at all.
And that is that the pharaohs were the aliens.
Oh, yeah, I have heard this one before.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful and say that they
Hmm.
looked like aliens. I'm just saying there was a lot of inbreeding in there.
Yeah, I feel like inbreeding is more the cause of that than aliens, just based on what we know about that now.
Love humanity's ability to jump to anything other than this is a cause of my own actions.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, they came out deformed, aliens.
Yeah. Can't be us.
How could it be us? And yeah, that's pretty much, I don't have any more energy for that point. That just made me mad.
Yeah, that's just silly. Like you were saying, especially all that we know about inbreeding now. I mean, it just makes sense.
There was, and I tried really hard not to use the show Ancient Aliens in this, which is why it's a shorter one. But I watched a clip and they were talking about how all of these points are connected to the Earth's chakra.
Oh, yeah, I have heard that before too.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all about witchy shit. I've got crystals, all of that stuff. Natasha, you used to have a crystal jewelry business.
Yes. Yeah, which is a very expensive hobby, by the way, not something to get into lightly. But yeah, and chakras are really, from what I understand, Indian cultures. I don't know exactly where it originated. So
But
yeah, it doesn't really line up. I don't think that the ancient Egyptians believed in chakras, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
and this was like a 5 minute clip, and this is now the second time I stood up and was like, I'm so annoyed. I watched three middle aged white men talk about the earth chakras.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I love how you're talking on behalf of literally everyone who's actually a part of that religion.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense that they would be so close together, like in terms of the size of the Earth. Like, why would
Yeah.
they be all right? It would be like all of them being like right here on your stomach or something. Like, that doesn't make any sense. They're spread out along your body. So, okay.
I honestly, I tried to listen to it, but around 2 minutes in, I looked at my husband and I go, did you hear that? And he goes, well, I stopped listening when it started to sound stupid. And I said, so you weren't listening at all.
Yeah, it just starts off stupid. So, yeah.
Yes. Humans are amazing at blaming everything on everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And just making shit up. Like that literally makes no sense, but okay. Sure. Anything for TV. Anything for more airtime.
So another argument about the pharaohs being aliens, which I did not remember to touch on, was that because people would go into their tombs and there would be no body there, they assumed that they were transported back to their home planet. I can't make
Oh,
this video seriously.
sure. They were just beamed up to their a spaceship or something.
And
Okay.
now we mentioned earlier grave robbing and
Hmm.
but also like the Valley of the Kings. That's a whole thing. Like, I don't think Tut is watching us from a spaceship right now.
No, I don't think if he's out there, I don't think he cares about us at all. So,
Like,
hmm. Okay. Yeah, that one doesn't really make any sense either.
and like I said, they don't get more logical as I go on. The pyramids were created in specific places where they were because they were meant to be used as basically a giant hands on a clock. So the clock could be seen from space.
Okay.
It was a tool just to measure human time passing.
But like how would that work? I mean, how much detail can you see from space?
I don't know.
That makes even less sense.
That's a lot of
Okay.
work for a clock. I mean, obviously, if you're not the one making said clock, it doesn't bother you, but still, that seems like a lot of work for a clock.
And it's really not showing anything. I mean, unless you're checking it every like 1,000 years or something, I don't know that you would see that big of a difference because this is stone structure.
So, I mean, I don't know if time works differently in space, how that would work. So maybe for them, 1,000 years human time is a month alien time.
Well, I mean, there's light years though. Isn't that supposed to be like kind of a constant, at least within our galaxy, I assume? I don't know.
I
That's an
mean,
interesting point.
in Halloween Town time is very different than mortal world time.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really helping your case at all, but okay.
It's September, I think, 3rd today, so we're already officially
Yes.
back in spooky season.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if, hey, if there's a Halloween Town like planet, sign me up.
Yeah. But anyway, so if they're not using it as a weird clock, which I just think of, and this is going to shock Natasha, them using the pyramids as like the stone. I forget what they're called, but in Scooby Doo on Zombie Island, when they start to like transform in front of the clock when it hits the statue.
Right. But again, our sun sets and rises every day, so it really makes no sense if that's how they're trying to keep time like on a grand scheme of things.
Maybe they're trying to like how they know how long it will take certain things to start to decay, and they're looking from space like, oh hey, this took this long to do it.
Maybe. I mean, the only reason I could see them doing that is if they were looking for a new home planet and so they were trying to find out like if they could live here long term, I guess.
I don't know, grasping at straws.
Yeah, just yeah.
So another very strongly believed theory, specifically the Great Pyramid, is that it's an energy source.
Okay, sure.
Now, what does that source energy to, you ask? No one knows.
Right. Yeah, is there something coming out of the walls or the top or something?
So, a few of the theories that it's an energy source, or they're all pretty similar for alien travel or communication, whether it be time travel or just travel through the stars. They were basically made as one that many supposed to see as batteries. Weird place to do that, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are things that human eyes can't see that maybe other species' eyes could see, but I mean, how close would you have to be in order to see them from space? Because space just really like sucks all the light out of everything.
there is one piece of evidence that I will give to them, and that is that there is a strange amount of water erosion in the Great Pyramid, and it seems to be connected to the Nile down below.
Okay.
But you lose me at, or does like having a battery on Earth. Like you had a little bit, you had a little tiny bit there, and then you lost me again.
Well, if it's like a battery that they would use in terms of like recharging something, how would they harness the energy from the Nile River?
I guess like the flow of the water. It's a very strange thing that if the Nile is part of this battery charging, you would choose to do it in a desert.
Yeah, and then you would have to like land your spaceship in the Nile I mean, yeah, okay. I'm not getting it, but I don't understand how all alien technologies work, so, or any of them. So, sure.
And I have a question that like always drives me nuts about aliens, and that is If you think aliens have all of this like reliance on Earth in one way or another, don't you think they would have stepped in a little bit before, global warming?
I mean, you think they would have just taken over at this point. I don't know,
Yeah.
unless we are aliens. I mean, that's always like the Twilight Zone episode. Have you seen that one where
No.
this guy crash lands and there's a woman, I can't remember if she was in the crash landing or somehow she was there too.
Oh, I think I did.
Um, yeah, I think it's one of the early ones, and then it turns out that they crash landed on Earth, and they were basically like Adam and Eve kind of thing, like that started the human species on Earth. The Twilight Zone holds up.
Yeah.
Those episodes are all still really good.
So those are the main conspiracy theories. I know there's going to be 1,000 more, but honestly,
Hmm.
my patience at this point was like.
Yeah, and they're all like kind of similar, and yeah, no need to go into all of them.
But I do have an honorable mention of conspiracy theories that involves pyramids, and it is called pyramidology. So
Sure, yeah.
everybody sit down and just take that in for a second, because
Add
if
an
I have
ology.
to know about it, so do you.
It already sounds stupid just based on the name, but okay.
And I summarized it a lot. Like I really broke it down to the Wikipedia bare brass tacks here. So it is a strange mix of religion and pseudoscience. So two things we love to have together. It focuses on the Pyramid of Giza mostly, but they can also refer to monuments that are pre-colonization America. So like the Mayans, the Aztecs.
Okay.
This religion, called that, believes that the Great Pyramid holds predictions from Exodus to World War II down to our impending apocalypse. So, guys, I brought it back together. See, this theory is supposedly supported by what they call pyramid inches,
Okay.
which means they measure increments of time where one British inch is the equivalent of one solar year. The next thing in my note is saying I absolutely have no idea what that means either, guys.
I mean, I kind of get it, but where are these predictions? Are they in some kind of language that we can't read or something?
I think they're supposedly like in the pyramid. I
Yeah,
don't.
not buying it, but okay.
I just pyramid inches. That really that got me.
I mean, you need pretty precise measurements to make a pyramid. So,
Okay, yeah.
but they're all different, right? They're all different sizes.
So the way I was looking at it was that it was like based off of how the sun hit the pyramids, like how many inches. I don't honestly know. I stopped trying to think about it. Honestly.
Yeah, that's beyond me. I don't get that.
Like I was thinking like maybe the shadow that the sun cast on the pyramid at this time meant that this many inches of the shadow meant this thing. And I just,
But again, it changes every day because of our path around the sun. So yeah, I don't know. I think these are all just kind of
or
complicated ways of trying to explain something that they can't explain.
now there is one more point that you kind of hinted to in the beginning that I would like to make. And it's an important point that's made a lot. And it's that it's a little racist to just assume that Egyptians couldn't do it.
It's not a little racist, it is racist. Yeah. They're just assuming these brown people couldn't possibly figure that out. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Especially because no one's like, oh, did aliens make the Colosseums?
Right. Yeah. Which, of course, it was a little more recent, so I guess maybe there's a little more of a written history, around. But yeah, no one's questioning that. No one's questioning anything that white people have accomplished. It's always white people questioning, what other races have accomplished.
So that is important to note that like maybe they were just smarter than us and you don't want to admit it.
Yeah, they had a better grasp of mathematics and, yeah, how gravity. They had a better grasp of gravity, clearly,
And
you know?
on that note, at the end of the day, do I believe aliens made the pyramids? No.
I thought you were going to say yes.
No, I do not think aliens made the pyramids. Do I think it's super funny to say all the time that aliens made the pyramids? Yes. Should I? Probably not.
I don't think aliens made anything on this planet. If anything, they just observe us, and maybe they're waiting for our like us to die out so they can take over our planet or something.
Maybe. But
Who knows?
who knows? I mean, apparently, if you believe Elon Musk, they did.
Well, I certainly don't believe Elon Musk, so no. Yeah.
So that is the brief, trust me, there was a lot more that I couldn't get my head around. Summary of, did aliens make the pyramids? No, they did not.
No, it's just humans being smart and, figuring things out. Yeah, I also heard of I think it was a Persian woman that was talking about how they had like frozen ice, kind of like the original ice cream. And even in the desert, they would create this kind of structure that you would put water on the bottom. And it was kind of similar to how a pyramid is shaped, but just much smaller. And then all the hot air would, of course, rise to the top. And then the water on the bottom would freeze over because it does get cold in the desert at night. So then they would have like ice even though they were in the middle of the desert. So, they're just smart. They just figured things out that it took, other civilizations a longer time to figure out, I guess.
Yeah, and that is one of the first alien stories. I'm sure I'll have plenty more for you if Natasha ever wants to do one.
Yeah, I like the ones more where it's like alien sightings, you know?
Yeah.
I think that was one of our first episodes that we did.
Yeah, the woman in the military, I think it was.
Yeah, there were some military related ones that were pretty cool. Um, yeah, that one was like our first or second episode. So if you're interested in stuff like that, you can definitely go check it out.
I think it was our second because I think the Fox sisters was our first.
Yeah, the Fox sisters. We've done quite a few episodes now. I think we're almost at 30. So if you like the sound of our voice for some reason, feel free to check those all out. Well, thanks for breaking that down, even though, I definitely already knew the answer. It's always funny to hear those conspiracy theories about it.
Yes.
Put your brain towards more important problems. Us knowing even if they were built by the aliens, how does that help us right now? It doesn't. So,
Yes. With how long we've had access to them, if there was going to be something other than like obviously scientific information and historical information, I think it would have come up already.
Yeah, right. So think about something else more important. Our next episode is going to be a true crime episode. It's one that a lot of people have, if you're into true crime and like weird stuff, you've definitely heard of it before. But I'm going to try to get as much information as I can because a lot of times you just hear the same. It's one of those ones that you just hear like the same little paragraph over and over again, or you'll see like a Instagram post that's got like on this day, blah, 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 so I'm going to try to find like a lot more information on it. So yeah, hopefully that will be a good one. And then hopefully we're going to finish up the apocalypse soon. Hopefully we finish it before the apocalypse actually happens.
I did get my glasses in, guys. I got it in earlier this week, so we're good.
Yeah, so hopefully the apocalypse doesn't come, before then. And then we'll do our first horror movie of the spooky season, which is
I forgot you picked it.
yes, it's a very messed up movie.
Something
Kind of a
about
unique
dolls.
movie. Yes, it's called Incident in a Ghostland. It's on Tubi, I think.
Okay.
Tubi or Plex. It's on one of those right now. There's so many that I want to cover, but I think this one is a good one to kick us off for spooky season. And then I have a couple other ones that we'll do too. A lot of like probably like 2000s ones that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of or they haven't seen it since it came out. Yeah, that's all I got at this point.
No, we'll see you next week and stay strange.